waiting to board our flight for Japan. We're both excited. This trip has been a long time in the making, and at the same time it came together really last minute. So we've just gone through security, which was a breeze. It took us, I think, less than a couple of minutes.
Yeah, it was really quick.
Very efficient.
We didn't have to we didn't have to take out anything from our bags. I shoved everything in the bag and it was a breeze just walking through.
Yeah, under a couple of minutes we were both done. So we're in now and we're waiting. We've got a couple of hours before boarding. So we're going to take a little bit of a look around and see what we can find. I did the mandatory stops at Heinemann's duty free, checked out a few fragrances and sunglasses and such. And now we've got 2 hours to while away before we can actually board. So I'll take you around and show you what we get up to. Goods are secured. I just stopped in to get some of these wet wipes. The ones I had at home had lost all of their juice, so to say. So just stopped at Amcal to get one to wipe down surfaces on board. Then a bit of a walk around. Nothing really caught my eye, but I'm hoping to grab a bite to eat. I am absolutely starving this morning. Ashley will abstain for most of the trip because he gets a bit queasy and prefers to just have a piece of fruit or something like that while he's traveling. So I'm not sure if we've mentioned this, but we are actually flying Japan Airlines this morning and returns also with Japan Airlines. It's our first time with them, but I can already say that their service is spectacular. Right from check-in to about now, the check-in process was so simple. We'd completed an online check-in, but the baggage drop-off and all, I mean, both of the ladies that we dealt with were absolute gems. So I'm quite excited to see what the rest of the flight has in store. So I just went to Macca's, got myself the breakfast meal, and for my drink I've got an iced tea strawberry matcha. The breakfast is a sausage and egg McMuffin with a hash brown. So I'm just going to sit, grab a quick bite, and then head over back to the gate. boarding also was completed really efficiently, and I've got to admit, this is the first time I've had this much leg room. I am 5'6", my husband is 6'1", and we both found the seat space really great. This is also the first time that we got to experience the gradual window tint in an aircraft, and I was fascinated. I gotta admit, this is so much better than having blinds that you either open or close, because you can still have a little bit of visibility while maintaining a certain amount of tint. Great idea. They should have done this ages ago. Here's a glimpse of the in-flight entertainment options. I initially thought that it would be hard to find something to watch that was not Japanese, because all of the videos that I'd seen so far showed a lot of Japanese content, and that's something that I was a bit concerned about. But it's safe to say that you've got nothing to worry about, because there are language options and there's a whole heap of content that you can consume on board without worrying about language. Now, there's movies that you can watch, there's a lot of Disney content, and there were audiobooks, there's a few games. There is also a lot of kid-friendly content, so if you're traveling with children, I'm sure they'll be able to find something to keep them occupied. Now, if you're keen to get your shopping started even before you reach Japan, there are options available. So they've got a little bit of a catalog on the in-flight entertainment system. They've also got a hard copy, like a little magazine, available that you'll find in the pocket of the seat ahead of you, just under the screen, where they have the rest of the safety instructions and all your other literature. They've also got a very interesting version of the flight map. So as a traveler, if you're like me and like to see whereabouts in the world you are at different points of time during your flight, this has got you covered. I find the information available so interesting. It's something that I always enjoy spending a little time on when I'm flying. After exploring whatever was available, I decided to settle down with a movie, and just about now is when they started coming around with the first round of snacks and drinks. They started us out with a moist towelette, and this time around I got myself some apple juice, and they came around with this beautiful packet of crackers. I have never enjoyed rice crackers this much. The texture was just right, the seasoning was great, and I think by this point I was already starting to get a little peckish, even though I'd had a bite to eat at the airport. So I was really glad this came around so early on during the flight. Before we knew it, they came around with lunch/breakfast. Truly, I don't know what this meal was, because it was still fairly early in the morning. I think it was around 11 o'clock or so in the morning. And I'm not complaining, because I was starving by this point. And this was the option that I got. I got some chicken pasta, which was really tasty. I was surprised at how juicy, how tender, and how flavorful that chicken was. I was very pleasantly surprised, because everything that came on that tray tasted great. The little salads, the fruit, everything was really, really great quality. I've got to say, this was some of the best food that I've had in flight ever. We finished off with a little ice cream. The ice cream could have been better than it was. I found it a tad bit icy, but it was quite tasty anyway. Another thing that I really appreciated is the fact that they actually serve you real cutlery, like stainless steel, forks, knives, and spoons as needed. So after lunch was done, I settled back in with my movie and got a little bit of a nap in as well. And before we knew it, it was about 2.5 hours before we could land. So they came around with another small snack or light refreshment, which turned out to be lasagna. Now, that was a heavy snack for me. It was a vegetarian lasagna. I found it a little bit on the salty side, but it was really tasty other than that. This was served with a bit of broccoli and a very interesting potato and tuna salad. I've had both of these separately, but they made for a very interesting combination when combined. This was another solid meal, but I've got to say the star of this meal was definitely that dessert. This, from memory, was mango cheesecake, and it was truly really delicious. If this was a sign of things to come, I knew that I was in for an absolute treat over the next couple of weeks. And I washed that down with a little bit of green tea. And just like that, it was time to land. I'm so excited for what the next 2 weeks hold. We landed in a very grey and wet Tokyo, but that didn't matter. We're just super excited to be here. So we are at the Tokyo Haneda Airport. I'll give you the details of the flight and a few other things that I think are important when you come into Japan once we get to the hotel. So one obstacle is done with. We're through immigration, customs, all of that. Next step is to find some transport to the hotel. We think we'll probably bite the bullet and try the train system over here, and we'll see how that works. Just after you're done with immigration, you will find signs towards the bus and train stops. And if you're a bit confused, there's also an information desk that you can go up to. They are extremely helpful and speak really good English, so nothing to worry about there. And literally in seconds, you are at the platform. The trains were slightly crowded, and with our luggage to handle, I didn't film on the trains, but here we are at the hotel. You're getting a glimpse of our first room for the trip. It's small, but it is comfortable. That's Ashley by the main entrance. Never mind him, he's a bit tired, but we're going to go into the bathroom. And that is the bathroom. Really nice and really clean. The toilet. That's the bath. And the shower. So we've just freshened up. It's been a long travel day. I will sit and chat with you guys tomorrow about the entire experience traveling in and coming to the hotel. I'll show you around the place as well. But right now we're starving, especially him, because he didn't eat anything all day. And we're just gonna walk down the street and see what we can find that's close and looks inviting. And we'll call it a day. So I will catch up with you either later tonight or possibly tomorrow morning. I'll just pop on and talk about our experience getting to our accommodation yesterday. We landed at Haneda Airport at about 5:45, and immigration and all of that was an absolute breeze. We had our QR codes from the Visit Japan website. So it's basically all of the details that you put onto your paper immigration slips and customs declarations and all of that, all done on the website. Nice, quick and easy when you're at home sitting peacefully before even leaving for the airport. And you end up with one QR code per person traveling, and everything from there on is an absolute breeze. I think immigration, customs, all of that must have taken us less than 5 minutes, do you think, yesterday? Yeah. If at all. Yeah, so there was not much of a wait. We were very lucky. So my thoughts on Japan Airlines. If there is an option to fly Japan Airlines, I would take it any given day. There was so much of legroom, and we were just in regular economy. Amazing legroom, amazing seat space. The width of the seats also was really comfortable. I thoroughly enjoyed the flight. The food was quite nice. The staff, the service was fantastic right from check-in till we were done, till we disembarked. So We've flown Qantas, which sadly, if you ask me, pales in comparison. Singapore Airlines is also a pretty decent option, but I'm really amazed by my experience on Japan Airlines. Try it if you haven't done so. Let me know what you think of it. And the next part of the adventure was actually taking public transport. We could have taken a private transfer. There's lots of options. You can use Uber, or I believe they have an app here called Go. Didi is also available, and lots of options. But when we looked up, we found that there was a train coming straight pretty close to our accommodation. Now, the only thing that threw a spanner in the works is it was raining when we got in. We had carried umbrellas, the little ones from home, so we were sorted out with that. Getting to the train stop was nice and easy. I went to the information counter just to clarify a few doubts. The gentleman there was so lovely, really helpful, told us everything that we needed to know, and getting into the trains was pretty straightforward from there on. We were very lucky that we didn't have to change trains or lines or anything. It was a rapid transit, sort of a fast train, and we got from the airport to our accommodation in about 30 to 40 minutes. That includes about a 7-8 minute walk from the station to the accommodation. So it was really nice. It was a little, I'd say, I won't say confusing, but yeah, we were still getting our bearings. Everything was dark, everything was wet when we got in, but the hotel's really nice. I know that hotel rooms and accommodation in Japan as a whole, the rooms tend to be on the smaller side. So once we got things figured out, it's all right, it's manageable. But the best part is that the hotel's really clean, the rooms are really clean, nothing to compare. The bed was comfortable, everything was pretty much, I think I don't have any complaints about this particular location. We are at the KOKO Hotel Premier in Nihonbashi. I'll leave a link in the description. It's not sponsored at all, but this is where we stayed. This is the first hotel of a few that we are using on this trip, and I can't really complain. What did you think of the accommodation?
It was a little on the smaller side, but yeah, it was very comfortable, and yeah, it's very cozy actually.
We checked in. Check-in was easy. It was a breeze. Everything was done. She just at the reception, they just took copies of our passports, handed us our room keys, explained a few details, and that was pretty much it. We came straight up to the room. We went out to dinner. We didn't want to travel too far because we were exhausted. By this point, we were awake for about, what was it, 19 hours? Yeah, 19 hours from the time we woke up. I think on the flight, I must have slept for like 20 minutes. Didn't sleep much, kept myself entertained the whole while. I didn't want to sleep much so that I could sleep at night here, and I think that worked out pretty well. This morning, we were up bright and early at 6:30, no jet lag, nothing, and we were ready to go. So dinner last night was at a little place that we found just while wandering about. About, I'd say, 7 minutes from our accommodation, there was this little ramen place called Hustle Ramen. I've taken some pictures, I've taken some little videos. I didn't want to be too rude because it was a really nice, cozy place. Just a few tables and a couple of people working at this spot. So I didn't want to sort of invade on anyone's privacy. So I was very discreet while taking footage. But I'll show you what we got. We got a miso ramen, and I got a miso flavored ramen. Ashley got a spicy miso ramen and a side of some gyozas. The gyozas were beautiful. The ramen was also really good. The pork was sensational, at least I thought so. It was a very, very big portion. We couldn't finish it all. Maybe it was the exhaustion of the day and everything, but yeah, I couldn't get through my bowl of ramen. What did you think of yours yesterday?
Yeah, I couldn't finish it either, but the flavors were great. It's very different from what we know of.
Yeah, it was nice. It was a good introduction. We needed something warm because it was all wet and dreary. So it was a quick dinner. We stopped. We got a couple of treats for ourselves from a supermarket that we passed by. Don't ask me for the name because it was all in Japanese and I have no clue. I saw supermarket in English, so we went in, got a few. I think we got a couple of puddings. We got a couple of drinks for today. couple of cans of, I think, plum wine with soda, one was a sparkling plum wine, which we will have sometime later today. It was too late for it yesterday and we were pretty much out of it. Stopped by at Family Mart, picked up a couple of ice creams. If you want to know what those are like, head on over. I think I filmed a couple of shots. I'll see if I can insert those here. Otherwise, you can find them on TikTok. What else did we do? I think after that, we went straight to bed, woke up this morning and headed out for breakfast. So if you want to see what we got up to on our first day here in Tokyo, first full day that is, make sure that you've subscribed to the channel and turn on notifications so that you get notified when the next video goes up. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's our attempt at documenting the trip, mainly for memories for ourselves when we look back on this trip. It's been, at least for me personally, I've been wanting to come to Japan for years and years and years. I've been fascinated by the little bit of exposure to Japanese cuisine that we have in Australia. So the likes of sushi, what we get as ramen, and I also have tried making a few things at home. So we've tried making like a vegan version of an okonomiyaki at home, which is on my other YouTube channel. If you're interested in how that worked out, I'll leave a link to it. Feel free to check it out. Feel free to subscribe. I'd appreciate it. It'll help us out a lot. So I've been fascinated with all things Japanese. It was a last minute booking. I think we ended up booking for this, all the bookings were done like a month out from travel dates. So it was pretty last minute, but quite excited. We've done a little bit of research on social media and such. So if you have any recommendations on places that we should check out, leave us a comment and we'll add them to our ever-growing list of places to see, things to do here in Japan. Just to give you a little bit of an idea, we're spending 5 days in Tokyo. From here we're going to Kyoto for I think 3 days, then or 4 days, then to Osaka for 3, and back to Tokyo for about a day and a half before we head back home to Sydney. So it's going to be exciting. I'd love to hear if you have any recommendations. Let us know. And that's it for our travel day to Japan. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you really soon in the next video. So till then, take care of yourselves. Bye bye.